What if I told you, Aaron, that there was one pump ingredient that could get you swollen out of your brain?
No way. No way.
Yeah, honestly.
No.
It's called glycerol.
Hello there, guys. Welcome back into yet another one with us, the Review Bros, and we've taken a little vacation, but we're back with a vengeance, with a new product from the guys that brought us Nuclear Pre and Nuclear Pump. It's their new Hydra Swelling Pump Performance Matrix ingredient. What is it?
It is skin tearing pump formula glycerol, and it promises to pump hydration, power, performance, endurance. Let's see if it does that as we cover the taste, the price, the label and the effects.
Let's get into this one, guys. But first, for the information we provide, all we ask in return is that you like the video and drop your thoughts in the comments below. It really does help us, guys. Is this going to be the next thing you buy to get massively huge this year?
Let's get swelling.
Boom! That moves us into the first segment of these reviews, the taste and the mixer goddamn ability of these products. What have we got?
We've got some unflavoured action, which we're a big fan of because it means you can whack it into any other existing pre-workout for your glycerol element.
Absolutely, guys. Or if you are absolutely hardcore, a person of sheer motherfucking will, then you can mix it into just a fruit juice, you know, if you want to go completely non-stim altogether.
Natty.
Yeah, just a glycerol element. And what do we think of that taste and mixability?
Yeah, so that it does froth a little bit on the top of the cup, you know, as it comes to expect with glycerol these days, and sort of stays around the inside of the cup. So you just got to give it a bit of a swirl and neck it down. But it don't clump in the tub, it don't clump in the cup, it just sort of froths a bit at the top.
Yeah, froths and sticks to the outside of the shaker or glass or whatever you're doing in. So sometimes what we have to do is you finish the drink, there's still some residue, just a little bit more extra tap water in there and bang, neck the last little bit back. But honestly, you know, that's to be expected with glycerol, and that's why we think it's been formulated on its own in this product. Obviously you see it a lot of the time in pre-workouts, but you do get that clumping issue and element, so this kind of eradicates that from the pre's, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So that's all there's to say on the taste.
Yeah, there's no nasty medicine or aftertaste.
Price time, how much is this glycerol going to be setting you back? Well, you'll head over to peakperformancelabs.ca where you can use RB10 to knock 10% off. Brings the price of this 60 serving tub down to £30.15.
Yeah, so that RB10 works on only the products, you know, Nuclear Pre, Nuclear Pump, all the rest of it, so that's always good. Including what's their muscle building product called?
Nuclear Power.
Nuclear Power. So yeah, you've got some choices. Now, my honest opinion on this one is it's quite a niche product. It's a very niche product. You know, you've really got to be into your supplements, I believe, to be picking this one up. It comes in at like literally a scratch over 50 pence a go. I'm going to chuck the dollars in below. Do I think it's worth it? I think it's worth it to a degree. That's my hand on heart, especially when you can pick up, you know, fully fledged pre-workouts for like £1 a go. So, you know, it's completely up to you guys whether you think that's worth it. It could definitely be worse, couldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And as standalone ingredients go, glycerol is probably one of the more worthwhile ones in terms of having an effect.
Absolutely, and I guess you would be paying similar prices for a standalone ingredient in creatine, maybe a little bit cheaper, but you get the gist. You know, it's not too much money if this is the sort of thing you want. It's going to come solely down to us, you know, on the effects really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. The usability is a key factor there. Like we said, because it's on its own, it don't clump. You can be very versatile with it. So, like Aaron said, it's very user dependent if it's going to be worthy for you.
Let's get into the label of it. Okay guys, into the label of this one, and it's not very extensive, so it gives us some opportunity to talk about more specifics behind it. But what does it say on the front of the tub, Craig? What is it promising to deliver?
Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, it's promising pump, hydration, power, performance, endurance. We've got a 5 gram scoop size, 60 total servings, which isn't bad at all. And we've got glycerol powder, highly concentrated, 65% stable glycerol powder, 5 grams.
Yep, so you're getting about 3 to 3.5 grams worth of pure glycerol here. Obviously it's bonded to the silicon dioxide as its other 35%, kind of similar to the arginine nitrate silicate bonded nitrosamine. You know, it's kind of going in line with that. Obviously glycerol, we primarily know it as a pump agent, hyperhydration, and we've always compared it to like creatine in a water loading sense, as in it works as a sponge, so it gets its way into muscle cell and pulls water, nutrients in with it to thus, you know, hyper swell the muscle cell, giving you nasty pumps. Now it must be noted that when we turn into the performance and endurance parts that it promises, we've done a lot of research into this in the past, and you do need big dosages to really maximize those areas of interest. And we're talking 20 grams. So you would need to be taking 4 scoops of this. Now it's important to note that obviously that would take away from that 60 servings. But that being said, it doesn't also anywhere on the label say there's a limiting amount of scoops you should take. So therefore you could take 1, 2, 3, 4 scoops. You technically could, but of course, it would be getting into the expensive realms, wouldn't it then?
Absolutely, yeah, and that's where the user discretion does come heavily into play. And all I will say is 5 grams is definitely above the normal. When you see it in a pre-workout, it's generally 1 to 4 grams, with 4 being probably the highest we've seen.
Yeah, the high.
So 5 grams is absolutely solid. So we're going to be looking at it more for its pump hydration benefits. Another point I want to make, and you know we were discussing this earlier, people will say, oh, if you think glycerol's so good, then why don't you put it in your own pre-workout, the Daily Driver? And simply, we didn't want to deal with a clumping issue, because if we were going to put it in there, we would have wanted to put it in there at about 4 or 5 grams ourselves for that pump element. But we didn't want you guys to deal with the clumping. We didn't want to deal with the clumping. So that's the answer to that.
Absolutely, because a lot of people don't understand the clumping. A lot don't. Even in this day and age, after we've been spreading it, you know, the other reviewers have been spreading it, companies have been spreading it. They open the tubs, they're clumped, and automatically assume it's a bad, out of date, or you know, damaged product. When that's not the case, it's just one of the properties of glycerol. So that needs to be bared in mind, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah. And once it's in the glass, it's fine. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get into the effects, the important part. That moves us very nicely into the effects of said product, guys. How does it work in the real world? Now, very importantly, guys, not a pre-workout. It's not here to give us energy. It's not here even to motivate us. So what can it actually do for you? So I've used it several times. You've used it several times. And interesting results, put it that way. So with this product, no negatives at all. No digestive issues, no nausea, and quite obviously none of the negatives that can come with pre-workouts. You know, no cold sweats, chills, crashes, jitters, anything like that. Just rule that out of the way. For anyone that's new to supplementation, this is not there for those negatives or positives as such.
So anyone could use this product basically, and as we touched on earlier, to really gauge the effects of this, we've been stacking it with stim only pre-workouts and seeing what this can bring from a pump standpoint, right?
Yep, absolutely. I have actually used it as well one time with just a fruit juice, like literally
standalone,
literally a Ribena, so or similar. So yeah, we just got to get a full gauge of what it really does. Now, myself, Craig, we're both realists, you know, in terms of the front benefits it promised us, the pump, hydration, power, performance, endurance. Now, we personally do believe it's only going to help in the 3 second elements here, the power, performance, and endurance, very minimally. That's the truth. We're realists here. It's not, we're talking, if you was at the peak of your game in training and you used this for some period of time, I'd personally be surprised if it even upped your game by 1%. That's the truth. That is the absolute truth, guys. For the power, performance and endurance points as well, I just want to say this. You can't take this product 1 time, 2 times, 3 times and notice those. This is something you would have to use for a long period of time, isn't it?
Yeah, and one important thing we do have to stress, especially with glycerol, is you must be very well hydrated, because obviously it's going to pull water into your muscle cells. So if you don't drink any water through the day, you take this and you're expecting to get pumped, how are you going to get pumped? It's got nothing to drive into the muscle cell.
Yeah, so carb up, hydrate up, guys, before using this. Now, the first 2 things it says, pump and hydration, I want to touch on those, because those are the things that I do think this excels at, really.
That's what you buy it for, really,
yeah,
isn't it? For the most part.
It is. The hydration, I'll talk about that because it's probably the most boring part, but I definitely noticed more hydration. I'll tell you why, because I felt more thirsty. It made me drink like
100%.
non-stop.
And you could argue in a roundabout way that then helps with endurance, because you're drinking more, because you're more hydrated, right?
Yeah, again, we're talking minimal, but still, you know, if you're, like I said, if you're at the top of your game, you're looking for the edge without going down grey routes.
Yeah.
Then this would be the sort of thing I would recommend. It would, but you wouldn't see a game-changing change. You wouldn't.
From a pump standpoint, if you go from taking nothing to then adding that in visually and how you feel it, yes, you will definitely be more pumped. You'll get that more round, swelling Michelin Man type look that we all know and love glycerol for.
Yeah, I'll chuck up some photos, videos of us on a pump, and bearing in mind I've not long recovered from COVID, and then as soon as I finished COVID I got hit with a nasty bout of food poisoning. 48 hours, no drink, no food, so I honestly lost a stone in weight. So for me to come back, start training again, use this product and feel pumped on it, to me is personally a miracle. Like I felt pumped on it. And hopefully the video shows that at least a little bit. So
yeah, we were both in subpar circumstances. Aaron has been ill. I haven't been able to train for nearly a week because I've been busy and then away on a stag do drinking. Diet's not been on point. So for us to come back, both train strong, look good, look pumped, enjoy our training session. Yeah, what can we say negatively about it? We can't.
No. So pumps, fantastic. You definitely notice a difference on this. Hydration, good. Very good, because it does make you drink a lot. The power, performance and endurance things are the things that we would have to take this product a full tub and beyond. You know, it really would have to be an everyday staple, kind of like creatine in a saturation way.
Yeah.
It builds up, it builds those internal reserves. It keeps you hydrated for a longer period of time, obviously for weeks on end. So therefore it will then start leading into power, performance and endurance benefits.
So I think the strength of this product is the fact it's 60 servings. You can buy it once, stick it in your cupboard, keep it for as long as it lasts, and anytime you take a pre-workout that don't have glycerol and you fancy more of a pump, maybe you're doing a juicy chest day, whack that in, boom, pumps immediately amplified.
Yeah, so get like Craig says, you could save money on the pre-workout from a standpoint and take a stim-only one or something. Guys, we laugh about it, but you could take C4 and whack one of them and it'll turn it into a nasty daily driver because of the pump element. Pumps are contractionally deep and, nasty, but they're also watery and full.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The one element that we really buy this for is the pumps, and it delivers on them. That's the truth.
Big time, yeah. I mean, how can 5 grams of the stuff not, when we're used to already feeling pumped on 2 or 3 grams of it? So
yeah, and bearing in mind also, guys, we only ever did it at 1 scoop.
Yeah.
We'd because it only kind of says that as the recommended. It doesn't actually say you can take more. It doesn't say you can't. But I reckon 2 scoops, 3 scoops, we're talking stupid.
It would be ridiculous, but you need a lot of water in your body if you're going to be pushing that glycerol around. But ultimately, we do recommend it for the audience we've spoke about, for the benefits we've spoke about. If you can afford it, it is a good long-term investment to be able to add to your pre-workout.
A 50p a go.
It's not going to break the bank, is it?
No,
what it is.
No, not. I think it's worth the money for the extra benefits it can bring about. So, yeah, well done, Peak Performance Labs. It's a solid product. It's one of those ones similar to like Bloodsport, Bloody Hell by Apollo Nutrition that I'm just going to keep using. It does no harm to chuck it in every day. So, yeah, If that sounds right to you, then do go on and check it out, guys. Don't forget that discount code works on this and all of the other products over at Peak Performance. So yeah, we've got them to thank for sending us down the tub. Interesting one, this one. So yeah, appreciate you guys watching at home. And as always,
Stay.
in this case, it's got to be pumped.